Welcome to an all new edition of Big Top 20 Countdown. This week, we're counting down the top 20 Halloween songs in honor of Halloween tomorrow. You guys, love it. You guys, and we're in the season 10, baby. And y'all, let's get into it. Let's start it off with number 20, Santana with Black Magic Woman on Big Top 20 Countdown, baby. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, that was Rocky Horror Picture Show Time Warp. That was pretty cool. I remember that because I think that was I remember that was what's the name? Tim Curry was in that movie. And that movie was so freaking fantastic. I haven't seen that movie in a long time though. If you ask me any parts of that movie, I would probably would not be able to tell you guys. Oh my god. But you guys, um we're gonna give you a little history of Halloween. Yeah, y'all, we gotta give you a little history of Halloween. The Halloween originated from an ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, which marked the end of a harvest and the start of winter, and was a time when the dead were believed to return to Earth. These Celtic traditions blended with Christian holidays like All Saints' Day, November 1st, and All Souls' Day, November 2nd, leading to All Hallows' Eve, which was October 31st, which became a Halloween. The holiday later traveled to America with European immigrants. Oh, I didn't know that. Particularly the Irish, involving and involved evolved into the secular celebration of costumes, trick or treats, and jack o' lanterns that is popular today. In Sumerian, the ancient Celtics celebrated Sumerian on October 31st to November 1st, believing the barrier between the worlds of the living and the dead blurred, allowing spirits to return. Wow, that's some deep stuff, man. You guys, wow. I didn't even know that. Wow, so I guess you learn something new every day, baby. We're gonna do more about that, but let's get back in this countdown. The number 18 song comes from Rob Zombie. This song is called Dracula. Let's get into it. Dracula by Rob Zombie, number 18 on Big Stop 20 Halloween Countdown. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, that was the number 17 song, Hell's Bells with AC/DC. I kind of like that song. AC/DC, Hell's Bells. I like that. And then we're going to continue with reading about Halloween. And it said, they said to ward off spirits to they did it to ward off spirits to appease or scare away spirits. People lit bonfires, wore costumes, and left offerings of food. Harvest and the New Year. Sam Hain also welcomed the harvest and the New Year, a significant time giving importance of crops for survival through the winter months. Oh, also the Christian influence. We're going to read about the Christian influence. All Saints Day. The Christian Church incorporated or replaced Celtic festivals with its own holidays. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III established November 1st as All Saints Day, and the preceding evening became All Hallows Eve or Halloween. All Souls Day, November 2nd became All Souls Day, a time to honor the dead, further blending with the existing focus on spirit. American evolution. European immigrants, especially the Irish, brought the Halloween costumes to the United States. In the 19th century, the holiday shifted from its religious and pagan roots into a modern tradition. The tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns came from the Irish custom of carving turnips, while the practice of trick-or-treating developed into the early traditions of people dressing up and performing for food and drinks in the neighborhood. Wow, that's some deep stuff. But then there's another article that says Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st, and Halloween 2025 will occur Friday, October 31st. The tradition originated with the Celtic Festival of Samuel, which was basically it. And then Pope Gregory, they say the same thing, gathering costumes and eating treats. Basically saying the same thing. Yeah, and it says that Halloween 2025 will be coming up soon. All right, hold on. Here's some more information. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celtics thought that the presence of the otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids, or Celtic priests to make predictions about the future for a people who for a people entirely dependent on the volatile natural world. These prophecies were an important source of comfort during the long, dark winter. To commemorate the event, Druids built huge sacred bonfires where people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifice to the Celtic deities. During the celebration, the Celts, wore costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skins and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. When the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which had been extinguished earlier that evening, from the sacred bonfire to protect them from the coming of the winter. Oh wow, this is deep. By AD 43, the Roman Empire had conquered the, the majority of Celtic territory. In the course of the 400 years that they ruled the Celtic lands, two festivals of Roman origin were combined with the tradition of Celtic celebration of Samhain. The first was Fioria, a day in late October when the Romans traditionally commemorated the passing of the dead. The second was a day to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. The symbols of Pomona is the apple. The symbol of Pomona is the apple, and the incorporation of the celebration into the Samian probably explains the tradition of bobbing for apples that is practiced on Halloween. Oh, I didn't even know that. We're going to talk more to the, we know we're going to do more on this. But let's get back in this countdown. The number 16 song comes from Radiohead. This song was called Creep. Let's get into it. Creep by Radiohead on Big Woo Stop 20 Countdown. You know I stole that from Soul Train, baby. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, that was the number 15 song. It's called by Rolling Stones. It was called Sympathy for the Devil. Now it's time to get into the first extra song of the week. The first extra song of the week comes from my absolute favorite. Um, this song was kind of like a sequel to Thriller, but it's even more scary. This song is called "Is It Scary?" Let's get into it. "Is It Scary?" by Michael Jackson, the first extra song of the week on Big Old Stuff when we come down. Yeah, y'all. Is it scary? Michael was, I'm telling you, he was a goat. I could not wait to see because he got a movie coming out starring he got a biopic starring his nephew Jafar, Jermaine's son. I'm telling you, his nephew sounds just like him, every single way. His nephew sounds just like Michael. I'm telling you, man. If there was a class on how people can sound like people, man, his nephew does it. His nephew does it. But let's continue to read about the Halloween um, All Saints Day. Okay. On May 13th, 1609, Pope Boniface the Fourth dedicated the Pantheon in Rome in honor of all Christian martyrs, and the Catholic feast of All Martyrs' Day were established in the Western Church. Pope Gregory III later expanded the festival to include all saints as well as all martyrs and moved the festival from May 13th to November. By the ninth century, the influence of the Christianity had spread into Celtic lands, where it gradually blended with the subplanet older Celtic rites. In the year 1000, the church made November 2nd All Saints' Day. The Catholic Church did that, a day to honor the dead, and it has widely been believed. It's widely believed today that the church was attempting to replace the Celtic festival of the dead with the related church-sanctioned holiday. All Souls Day was celebrated similarly with bonfires, parades, and dressing up in costumes as saints, angels, and devils gathered together. The All Saints Day celebration was called All Hallows or All Hallowmas from the Middle Eastern Hallowmees, meaning All Saints Day. And the night before it, the additional night of summer in the Celtic ring began to be called All Hallows Eve, or eventually Halloween. It's going to tell us how. We're going to go. How did Halloween start in America? The celebration of Halloween was extremely limited in colonial New England because the rigid Protestant belief system there. Halloween was more commonly recognized in Maryland and the southern colonies, as the belief and customs different European ethnic groups and American Indians meshed. A distinctly American version of Halloween began to emerge. The first celebration included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest. Neighbors would share the stories of the dead, telling each other's fortunes, dancing, and singing. More people, oh, you know what? More people are buying things for their pets. Anyways, that's crazy. Colonel Halloween festivals, oh, I'm sorry, colonial Halloween festivals also featured telling of ghost stories and mischief making of all kinds. By the mid by the middle of the 19th century, annual autumn festivities were common, but Halloween was not yet celebrated everywhere in the country. In the second half of the 19th century, America was flooded with new immigrants. These new immigrants, especially the millions of Irish fleeing the Irish potato famine, helped to popularize the, the tradition of Halloween nationally. And then we're going to go to the history. You know what? We're going to come back. We're going to go through the history of trick or treating. But let's get back in this countdown. The number 14 song comes from DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Will Smith now. And this song is called A Nightmare on My Street. Let's get into it. A Nightmare on My Street by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. On Big Woo! Top 20. Halloween special, baby. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, we did three in a row for you. We did number 14 was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince with A Nightmare on My Street. Number 13 was Creedence Clearwater Revival with Bad Moon Rising. And number 12 was The Monster, Eminem featuring Rihanna. Now it's time to get into the comedy corner. The corner comes from somebody I've been knowing, what's that, 1988? 37 years. This is my boy. I've been knowing him for a long time. I'm so happy that he's getting into comedy. And this is the comedy of my boy, Billy. You know what? We met each other in the second grade and we kept in touch. I've been knowing him since I was in the second grade. Do you believe that? Second grade. And now I'm so proud that he's doing stand up. And this is one of his stand ups. The Comedy Corner, Billy Ramirez. Y'all, let's get into it. Billy Ramirez, my boy, on Big Woo! Top 20 Halloween Countdown. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, that was very, very funny. Billy Ramirez. I'm not just saying that because he's my boy, man, but he's a really awesome as comedian. I'm so proud of him. He's doing a BIG, man. I'm really, really happy. And if you're listening, love you, Billy. Love you, man. And you got to come on the show, man. Yeah, you got to come on the show. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna set that up. I just thought about it now. We're gonna set that up. I want my boy come on my show. But you guys, let's get back into the history of Halloween. Let's go to the history of trick or treating. Borrowing from European traditions, Americans began to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for food or money, a practice that eventually became today's trick or treat tradition. Young women believed that on Halloween they could divine the name or appearance of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple parings, or mirrors. Wow. In the late 1800s, there was a move in America to mold Halloween into a holiday, more about community and neighborly get-togethers than about ghost pranks and witchcraft. At the turn of the century, Halloween parties for both children and adults became the most common way to celebrate the day. Parties focused on games, foods of the seasons, and festival costumes. Parents were encouraged by newspapers and community leaders to take everything frightening or grotesque out of Halloween celebrations. Because of these efforts, Halloween lost most of its superstition and religious overtones by the beginning of the 20th century. Wow. Good days, like Halloween parties. By the 19th, well, now we're going to talk about Halloween parties. By the 1920s and 30s, Halloween became a secular but community centered holiday with parades and town-wide Halloween parties as featured entertainment. Despite the best efforts of many schools and communities, vandalism began to plague some celebrations in many communities during this time. By the 1950s, the town leaders had successfully limited vandalism, and Halloween had evolved into a holiday directed mainly by the young. Due to the high number of young children during the 50s baby boom, parties moved from town civic centers into classrooms or homes where they could be more easily accommodated. By the 19 Between the 1920s and 50s, the centuries-old practice of trick-or-treating was also revived. Trick-or-treating was a relatively inexpensive way for an entire community to share the Halloween celebration. In theory, families could also prevent tricks being played on them by providing neighborhood children with small treats. Thus, a new American tradition was born, and it has continually grown. Today, Americans spend more than $1 billion annually on Halloween, making it the century's second largest commercial holiday after Christmas. Wow. Wow. 11 billion. Wow. Well, that's a lot of money. Um, wow. But you guys, we gotta get back in this countdown. The number 11 song comes from John Carpenter. This song is called Halloween Theme. Let's get into it. Halloween Theme by John Carpenter. On Big Woo! Top 20 Countdown, baby. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, that was the number 10 song, Skillet, with the song called Monsters. But you guys, um, it's time to get into the second extra song of the week. Second extra song of the week. I love this song. I absolutely love this song. When I first heard it, I'll be honest with you, only heard it like almost 10 years ago was the first time hearing it. But it's by the legendary Louis Armstrong, and this song is called Spooks. Let's get into it. Second song of the week, Louis Armstrong with Spooks on Big Woo! Top 20 Countdown, baby. Yeah. I'm talking about spooks, spooks, spooks. I'm talking about spooks, spooks, spooks. I'm talking about spooks, 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 spooks. Dum, dum, dum. Just be careful because there are spooks. I don't know. I made up my own version. Oh my God, I just made up my own version. But you guys, let's get back into the Halloween. We're talking about Halloween, and now we're talking about the Halloween movies. Speaking of commercial success, scary Halloween movies have had a long history of being box office hits. Classic Halloween movies include the Halloween franchise, based on the 1978 original film directed by John Carpenter and starring Donald Pleasant, Nick Castle, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Tony Moran. In Halloween, a young boy named Michael Myers murders his 17-year-old sister and is committed to jail, only to escape as a teen on Halloween night and seek out his old home and a new target. A direct sequel to the original Halloween was released in 2018, starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle. A sequel to that, Halloween Kills, was released in 2021, and a sequel to that, Halloween Ends, was released in 2022. Considered a classic horror film down to its spooky soundtrack, Halloween inspired other slasher films like Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. More family friendly Halloween movies, including Hocus Pocus, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice, and It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, were produced as well. Then we're going to talk about All Souls Day. All Souls Day and Soul Cakes. The American Halloween tradition of trick or treating probably dates back to the early Souls Day parade in England. During the festivities, the poor citizens would beg for food and families would give them pastries called soul cakes in return for their promise to pray for the family's dead relatives. The distribution of soul cakes were encouraged by the church as a way to replace the ancient practice of leaving food and wine for roaming spirits. The practice, which was referred to as going a souling, going a souling, was eventually taken by the children who would visit the houses in their neighborhood and be given ale, food, and money. The tradition of dressing in costume for Halloween has both European and Celtic roots. Hundreds of years ago, winter was uncertain and was an uncertain and frightening time. Food supplies often ran low, and for many people afraid of the dark, the short days of the winter were fully considered or full of constant worry. On Halloween, when it was believed that ghosts came back to the earthly world, people thought that they would encounter ghosts if they left their homes. To avoid being recognized by the ghosts, people would wear masks. Where when they when they left their homes after dark, so that the ghosts would mistake them for fellow spirits. On Halloween, to keep ghosts away from their houses, people would place bowls of food outside of their homes to appease the ghosts and prevent them from attempting to enter. Okay, and then we're gonna do black hats. I think should we do that? No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a little bit. We're gonna come back to that. But you guys, let's get back in this countdown. The number 9 song comes from Warren Zevon. Thank you for that recipe. This song is called "Werewolves in London." Werewolves in London. Let's get into it. Number 9, Werewolves in London on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, y'all, we did 3 in a row for you. I mean, well, actually, no, number 10 was actually no, yeah, we did the 3 in a row for you. We did Warren Zevon with number 9 was Werewolves in London. Number 8 was AC/DC with Highway to Hell, and number 7 was Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo. Now it's time to get into the Independent Song of the Week. Independent Song of the Week is not a Halloween song. It's actually one of my new songs. The first single from my Greatest Hits Volume 2 and uh, Greatest Hits Volume 2.5. This song was called Move for Jesus. Let's get into it. Move for Jesus, the Independent Song of the Week on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, go. Has God done anything for you? Has He brought you through? You better move. Move for Jesus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Has He set you free? Giving you the victory. You better move, move for Jesus. Yeah, y'all. I want to say thank you guys for just making that a hit. You guys have just made it just a big hit. I want to say thank you guys for just doing it big. Making me happy, man. Wow. And this actually was released on my 19th single anniversary because my 19th single came out September 12th. Um, my first single came out September 12th, 2006, and Move for Jesus came out um, September 12th, 2016. No, 2025. Yeah, 19 years. Sometimes I'm getting older. But you guys, let's get back into to this thing, and then we're going to talk about black cats and ghosts. Halloween has been always been a holiday filled with mystery, magic, and superstition. And it began as a Celtic end of summer festival during which people felt especially close to deceased relatives and friends. For these friendly spirits, they set places at the dinner table, left treats on doorsteps, and along the side of the road, and lit candles to help loved ones find their way back to the spirit world. Today's Halloween ghosts are often depicted as more fearsome and malevolent. Yeah, and our customs and superstitions are scarier too. We avoid crossing paths with black cats, afraid that they might bring us bad luck. The idea has often roots in the Middle Ages, where many people believed that the witches avoided detection by turning themselves into black cats. We try not to walk under ladders for that same reason. This superstition may have come from the ancient Egyptians who believed that triangles were sacred. It also may have something to do with the fact that walking under a leaning ladder tends to be unsafe. And walking around Halloween and around Halloween, especially, we try to avoid breaking mirrors, stepping on cracks in the road, or spilling salt. That's Halloween tradition. But you guys, let's get back in this countdown. The number 6 song comes from Rockwell. The song is called Somebody's Watching Me. Let's get into it. I got a feeling somebody's watching me. Number 6 on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the number 5 song, Imagine Dragons. But let's get into the old school gem of the week. The old school gem of the week comes from by a birthday woman. She was born, I can't, 1940, blah. But this is her latest thing. This was her single that I really love. This song is called Love's Coming At You. Let's get into it. The old school gem of the week, Melba Moore with Love's Coming At You on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, love's coming at ya, my love's coming at ya. Call some energy. My love's coming at ya. My love's coming at ya. I love that song, y'all. Man, I'm telling you, I'm having so much fun in this countdown and give you guys so much information. I'm on, y'all. And then this is gonna be the last one that we're gonna do, and then that's it. Well, this is the last one. Halloween matchmaking, and lesser known rituals. But what about the Halloween traditions and beliefs that today's trick or treaters have forgotten about? Many of these obsolete rituals focus on the future instead of the past, and the living instead of the dead. And particularly, many had to do with helping young women identify their future husbands and reassuring them that they would someday, with luck, by next Halloween, be married. In the 18th century, Ireland, a matchmaking cook might bury a ring in her mashed potatoes on Halloween night, hoping to bring true love to the diner who found it. In Scotland, fortune tellers recommended that an eligible young woman named a hazelnut for each of their suitors, name a hazelnut for each of their suitors, and then toss their nuts into the fireplace. The nut would that burned to ashes rather than popping or exploding, the story went, representing the girl's future husband. In some versions of this legend, the opposite was true. The nut had that burned away symbolized a love that would not last. Ooh, wow. Another tale had had it that if a young woman ate a sugary concoction made out of walnuts, hazelnuts, and nutmeg before bed on Halloween night, she would dream about her future husband. Young women tossed apple peels over their shoulders, hoping the peels would fall on the floor in the shape of their future husband's initials. They tried to learn about their futures by peering at egg yolks floating in a bowl of water, and stood in front of a mirror in the darkened rooms, holding the candles and looking over their shoulders for their husband's face. Other rituals were more competitive. At some Halloween parties, the first guest to find a burr on a chestnut would be the first to marry. That's weird. And at others, the first successful apple bobber would be the first down the aisle. Of course, whether we're asking for romantic advice or trying to avoid 7 years of bad luck, each of these Halloween superstitions relies on the goodwill of the very same spirits who whose presence the early Celts felt so keenly. Yeah, so that's the history of Halloween. Man, that was a long history, you guys. But you guys, let's get back in this countdown. The number 4 song comes from Danny Elfman. This song is called "This Is Halloween." Let's get into it. "This Is Halloween" by Danny Elfman on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the awesome. We did 3 in a row for you. We did Danny Elfman with "This Is Halloween." Number 3 was by Bob Boris Pickett and the Crypt Keepers. That was a monster mash. She did the mash. She did the monster mash. The monster mash. Hey, it was a graveyard smash. She did the mash. Hey. And then number 2 was Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Yeah. Now it's time to get into the number 1 song. Y'all guessed it. The number 1 song is by the legend himself. He's got a movie, a biopic coming out starring his nephew. This is called Thriller, Thriller Night. Well, finally throwing the soldiers from the beast about to strike. You know it's Thriller. Oh, Thriller. I can't say it as good as him. And plus I got a cold too. Thriller Night. You know that song. This song is such a hit. It has over 1 billion plays on YouTube. This is just a song. So let's get into it. Thriller by Michael Jackson, the number 1 Halloween song on Big Woo! Stop 20 Countdown, baby. Yeah. Cause it's a thriller, oh, thriller night. And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's thriller, oh, thriller night. I can't do it like Michael. Michael was the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And you know what? He's so great. I'm gonna tell you something. Michael is so awesome that he's still selling. They said this year in 2025, he's been dead for 16 years. He sold 1 million copies of his album. 1 million. And the man's been gone. So 1 billion on YouTube, 1 million in 1 year. This man is freaking awesome. That's how you know you're a legend. And that was Michael Jackson, man. Forever, man. The GOAT, forever. Now and forever. But you guys, I had so much fun on this countdown and so much fun giving you guys information. But if y'all want to reach me, you can reach me at www.linktr.com/OLUSHEYI.banjo. The thought for the week is never give up, no matter what nobody else tells you. And you guys, we're going to end this um, with a gospel song. And today is Smokey Norfolk's birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, Smokey. This is one of my favorites by him. This song is called Praise Him. Let's get into it. Praise Him by Smokey Norfolk. May God bless you. May God keep you until we meet again.